All right, we are going live here. This is the second time I've went live on TikTok, so I'm learning as I go. But tonight we're just gonna have some fun and maybe tell some Amish stories and answer some questions about the Amish. So if you have questions, now is the perfect time to ask them, because I'll try to get to as many questions as I can right away. So drop your questions in the comments. Hello, my friend Matthew. Good to see you. Hello from South Dakota. Thank you for jumping on. Oh, wow. We got all kinds of people jumping on here. Crazy Amish Mexican. I have not heard that name before. That's kind of cool. What's the difference between Amish and Mennonite? Basically, the difference between the Amish and the Mennonite is a bunch of materialistic things. So they have cars. Amish do not have cars. Amish have buggies. That's the big difference. They all have the same kind of rules, but they're just different rules. V Bish, I am doing good. Hello from Wisconsin. That's nice to have some cheese hats on here, I guess. We'll accept them, right? Hopefully they're not Packers fans. What's up, Swarty? Hello from central Minnesota. Do they take proper care of their horses? In my community, some of them did. Some of them did not. I know of Amish that had their horse die driving down the road. They just run them until they're so skinny that they wouldn't even go anymore. Hey, are Mennonite and Amish the same thing? They're not the same thing. Amish are much more strict than Mennonite. Amish will prevent you from having a lot of materialistic stuff that Mennonites will allow you to have. How can the Amish use technology? The Amish I used to buy steel from were not allowed. Yeah, they can't really use technology at all. The smartphone is way forbidden for the Amish. So my community, there was no technology. Depends what you call technology. Way back in the day, I'm sure they called horse and buggy new technology, but they do allow that. I am old order Amish. Okay, so I think old order Amish and Swartz and Trooper Amish is kind of the same thing. They have a little bit different clothing than the Swartz and Trooper Amish, which I am Swartz and Trooper Amish. I grew up in the Swartz and Trooper Amish, which was a complete mess. I did not like it. Amish are rich where I'm from. That is actually true. A lot of Amish have much bigger bank accounts than you would ever realize. They have a lot of money. Where did you grow up? I grew up in Harmony, Minnesota, and I live in Rochester, Minnesota right now. Hi from Andover, Minnesota. I love Andover, Minnesota. I have friends that live in Andover, Minnesota, and I go up there quite a bit. Have you met other former Amish on TikTok? Yes, I have. It's kind of crazy. There's a lot of Amish on here as well. So they have weird accounts with no... Usually it's just a couple letters and a bunch of numbers and no picture. That is a lot of times Amish that are hiding their phone, hiding themselves from the Amish, but somehow they got on TikTok. So, but they're not supposed to. So they're kind of living a lie. They're telling the bishop they don't have anything, but they actually have anything. Do the Amish have birthday parties? Not really. We didn't really have birthday parties. It was just kind of like another day. Okay, you're a year older now. But there was 10 kids, so it would have been like birthday parties almost all the time if we would have had birthday parties. What do you miss most about the Amish? I probably miss their food. They have a lot of really good food. So I was born near Harmony, Cresco, Iowa. We have done a lot of work in Cresco, Iowa. I was there all the time. How do the Amish feel about non-Amish? They don't talk too highly of them, unless they're really laid back, very, very super ultra conservative people that are like farmers or drive old cars. Then they are good with it. I live 2 miles from Kendallville, Iowa. Oh wow, Kendallville, Iowa. That's that's cool. I have a lot of memories from Kendallville, Iowa. There's a little, or I think it's Kendallville, Iowa, where there's the only thing there really is a little bar. Maybe you can confirm that. I think that's what it is. But I remember the town is between Harmony and Cresco. There's a little town, Kendallville. I used to go there a lot. Are you still in contact with your old community? A little bit, not a lot. I do communicate with them sometimes, but not a lot. Yep, Trusty Bar in Kendallville. Yeah. I went home from there a couple times that I definitely should not have been driving, but I did anyways. But it was just up the Harmony. Is your twin as adorable as you? And if so, can you hook me up with him? My twin is, we're identical. So, but he was born before I was. I got tired of him in there and I kicked him out. So he was born first. Is your twin still Amish? No, he recently left. Because they got shunned out of the church and punished out of the church, so they left. Are you actually a Schwarzentrooper? Probably spelling wrong. It is spelling it a little bit wrong, but yes, that is actually my last name, is Schwarzentrooper. Did your mom go to the grocery store? So the Amish have kind of like an Amish grocery store where there's one person out of the community that will go to like Sam's Club or Aldi or one of these places, and now the whole they buy a whole bunch of bulk food stuff, so they bring it back to the community, and then everybody comes and buys food. So that's kind of how it works in the Amish. One person goes, makes a huge haul, and then they come back and everybody kind of has food. Alright, what's up, brother? Love all your videos. Thank you for watching the videos. I'm mind blown by how many people sometimes watch my videos, which is super awesome. I never thought people would watch my videos because I didn't think I was really had anything to say, right? But who knows? Here I am. Was your brother shunned? Yes, my brother was shunned out of the church and punished for some stuff that he should not have been punished for. You have a great accent, voice, and are so quick. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Schwarzentroopers are the highest level of oldest Amish. Yes, they are. They are the most strict. I would say they are the most barefoot Amish. If you see Schwarzentrooper Amish with shoes in the summertime, they have made progress because they don't normally wear shoes in the summertime. Good evening, Eddie. Oh, here's my nephew. That's super cool to see that my nephew's on here. Do you still attend church now? Yes, I do attend a church still today, but it is not a religious church. I don't like religion at all. I think it's very disruptive. I think it's used in bad ways a lot more than it is used in good ways, where a lot of times a religion just becomes a way to literally control and manipulate people, which is super, super sad because that's not what it's supposed to be. But that is most of religion today, in my opinion. Do men cook at all? I don't really know any men that cook in the Amish. I don't think men really cook in the Amish. They are outside people. They don't learn how to cook. Religion is man-made. I would agree with that. It is something that is man-made. It's something that one person starts and terrible idea. It started to and ends up controlling a whole bunch of people. I don't like it at all. What area are you in now? Rochester, Minnesota. I'm in Rochester, Minnesota. How did you handle urges? That is tough in the Amish, because if you want to do something that is going to break the rules, yeah, if you don't get caught, it's probably fine. But if you get caught, that's not a good thing. That is a disaster waiting to happen, because the punishment sometimes is pretty intense. Pretty intense. Do Amish women ever have secret abortions? I have never heard of that. I have never heard of an Amish woman. Hello from Preston, Minnesota. Preston's right up the road from where I live. I'm in southeast Minnesota. Lots of Amish around here. I wonder where you are, Ashley Brew. I wonder where that's at. Is it in St. Charles, Spring Valley, or Harmon area? Those are really, I think, the only three areas that there is Amish communities down here. Hi from Eagan, Minnesota. Greetings from Alexandria. Your wife is very beautiful. Thank you. She is very beautiful. How would your Amish family treat you if you return? So if I would return and submit to living their ways and following their rules and religion, my mom would probably treat me super nice, because that is what she would want. But it's just not for me. Not for me at all. I grew up in Lewiston, which is by Utica. Oh yeah. That would be the St. Charles Amish. We saw it, so when we were growing up, we thought that would be like super, super cool, because when we were growing up, we'd look at the St. Charles Amish and they have this triangle on the back of their buggy. And we thought that would be so wild to have a triangle on your buggy, because we were not allowed a triangle on the buggy. We were only allowed certain very plain type of reflectors on the back of the buggy. A triangle, not an option. Definitely not an option. Ever heard of Shipshewana Indiana Amish? Yes, I've been there many times. Shipshewana is a much, much more advanced community than the community I come from. They have so much stuff out there. It's pretty cool how much stuff they have in Shipshewana. Hello from Oklahoma. All right. I love Oklahoma. It's kind of like starting to get into the Wild West, which I love as well. There are a lot of Amish in Hickston, Wisconsin. Hi, Eddie. I'm from Watertown, New York. All right. We got New York here. That's awesome. Hello from Tennessee. I love Nashville. I've been to Nashville a couple times. That is what you dream of. Growing up as an Amish kid, you're on the farm all the time. So the dream is cowboy boots and a cowboy hat. So when you go to Nashville, and country music, obviously, because you learn a little bit here and there, whatever. So when you go to Nashville, it's like all the little honky tonks, it's the cowboy boots, it's the hat. It's super, super cool. I loved it in Nashville. My hubby is from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Lancaster, that is actually where the Amish settled. That's the very first Amish that came from Switzerland. That's where they went, was to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Nashville, Tennessee. All right, we got more people here from Nashville, Tennessee. That's cool. Nashville's a cool place. Hi from Kentucky. I helped a couple Amish move to Kentucky once. That was of the St. Charles Amish, and they let me take my trailer and truck and haul their stuff down to Kentucky to an Amish community that they moved to down there, which was kind of fun. I've never seen the Amish community down there before, and I got to see it then. However, the old man that wrote Wish was super annoying. How do the Amish shave? So they have just a shaver that use kind of like a regular, like a hand shaver, and you use shaving cream and then shave. But they can't have a mustache. This would not be allowed in the Amish. They gotta shave their beard. Get this, they gotta shave it right through here. It can't be too tall or it can't be too low. It's gotta be right through here. Not too much and not too little. So it's a fine line to dance on, to say the least. Do you miss any of the Amish times? I miss some of my childhood times because it was just so much fun. All the siblings on the farm, we did so many wild things. I do miss that sometimes. That was a good time growing up. But I don't miss any of the Amish rules. That is for sure. Hey, from Harmony, Minnesota. Here's somebody from Harmony, Minnesota. All right. And it says, my dad shaved his beard. Yes, my brother-in-law left the Amish. And poof, his beard went out the window. Which has got to feel super weird when... So from the day the Amish get married, they cannot touch their beard other than shave right here. Other than that, you can't touch the beard. So it's super awkward for people. I knew a family growing up that, I mean, the boys couldn't raise beards for nothing. Like, they get married, now they have to let everything go, and then all of a sudden they got a patch here, and they got a little patch here, nothing over here. It's just super awkward. But they can't touch it. So that's too bad for them. But as long as they stay Amish, hey, they got to keep the beard, whatever grows. And whatever doesn't grow, well, they got to let that be too. So why the beard rules? That's just, you'll never get an explanation on that. Because all they can say to that is, well, our grandparents did it, our parents did it, they taught us to do it, so we can't do any different. Because we have to obey what our parents said to do. Since Amish marry Amish, is there much in the way of inbreeding concerns? That is a concern in some communities. In my community, it didn't happen a lot, but that's a concern. That does happen sometimes. I've heard of communities that had that problem a lot. Do you consider them a cult? I would consider them a cult. Some of the more advanced Amish, not so much. But the strict Amish where I come from, I do consider them a cult because they will strictly cut off all ties with you if you leave them and claim you to be the devil and all this other stuff, which is, I don't know how other to define it than a cult when they demand that you follow every single, stupid little rule that they have. And if you don't, you're immediately excommunicated and in trouble. And you got to confess to the whole entire church. That's the thing. You got to confess to the whole entire church about this stuff. It's just a mess. I would definitely consider them a cult. A lot of people get very upset about that, especially Amish that are on here that are living a double life with a phone and all this stuff. But they're promising the preachers that they don't have a phone, promising the elders that they don't have a phone, but yet they have one. It's kind of a sad way to live life, in my opinion. I told my mom I would much rather have it and accept that I have it and not lie about it than try and live an Amish lifestyle and then still have a cell phone, but go and lie to the preachers and the elders about it. That, I don't have anything like that, but right in your pocket you have it. A lot of that happens in the Amish. Do you think they should stay Amish if you weren't part of a strict community? I don't really think so. I would not have stayed in the Amish even if I wasn't. Because the deepest issue is not it's not necessarily just the rules. It's also the religion. Any kind of religion is just, it's not worth it. It's so controlling. I don't like it one bit, because even if it was more advanced, okay, so now you don't have to use the handsaw, you can use a chainsaw, but you can't have a car, or you can't have rubber tires. Well, that is still just doesn't make sense to me. So as long as there's still those restrictions, no. I just want to be free. And here's the thing, you can live English, but live a very simple life and use some of those values and principles they teach in the English life. You cannot live in the Amish life and have some things to make your life easier. Like when we're, no kidding, when we're out, in the field, doing field work, we're on one side of the fence for days and days and days to take care of a couple acres and try and get corn planted. Meanwhile, across the fence, the tractor comes in and poof, in a half hour, he's out and he's got everything tilled already. It's like, oh man. And they're just, riding along over there, kind of smiling at you. It's like, you want to almost rubs you the wrong way where you want to flip them off or something. But that's just how it is. And that's what I don't get. Why couldn't we even have some kind of a tractor? Just because when you use horses, you got to let them rest at the end of every row, because it's hot out, they're sweating, you don't want to kill the horses. I don't like it. Do you live on a farm now? No, I actually live in the city, which is so different from what I grew up, but I love it. We live on a lake, so we can go out to the lake. It's a quiet lake, it's a private lake, so not everybody has access to it. And we can swim or fish or whatever, have access to it. But I never thought I would like living in town, but I do like living in town. I teach Amish at our public schools. Yeah, that's a very advanced community. Probably out in Ohio or Indiana or Pennsylvania or somewhere like that, where there's much more advanced communities. Did Amish get COVID? I don't know. They would have never tested for it. So whether or not they got COVID, and then nobody really knows. Why can't Amish read the Bible? Because they have their own scripture. They don't want you reading the Bible. You'll leave their cult. They have their own scripture and Bible. Here, I'll show you what it looks like. So this right here is their Bible. This is German. And this is, my mom sent me this about a year ago in the mail. But it's all in German, so it's a little harder to read. But they also have the Blue Book. And the Blue Book was written by the Amish, where they use parts of the Bible and then their ordning, their rules, and they tie the two together to make it seem as though the Bible is saying you can't do this and you can't do that, when all it really is they put their own twist on it to make a rule so that they can try and enslave and keep more people in there, which is a disaster. I like the show Amish Mafia. Have you heard about men who work doing the bishop's dirty work? In my community, not so much. It's usually, there's always some people friendly with the bishop, and so they get away with all kinds of stuff. Or the preachers. They get away with all kinds of stuff. Which is a bummer, because they get favor from the preacher and the elders. And then my family, we never had like a brother preacher, or a dad wasn't a preacher, or grandpa wasn't a preacher. So it was always seemed like we were never really, I don't know. It was weird. we were never favored. Like some people, and a lot of people aren't favored, but some people that are friendly with the bishop, they can get away with all kinds of stuff. Because guess what? They find out some stuff about the bishop, and then, oh, if you bring something up about me, I'm going to tell the church this about you, and you're the leader. So then it's just it's like a little bitty corrupt government almost, where it's nasty. It's a messy situation. I'm super, super glad that I never actually got baptized into the Amish. Do Amish have their own health? Yeah, they can also have leaf blowers if they have peace. Yes, yeah, that's another preacher. So in my community, one of the preachers, other people would get shot for having a leaf blower with a gas motor. That's not allowed. But then one of the preachers all of a sudden has a leaf blower because he has bees. And then, okay, oh wow, because he has bees, he says, I gotta have a leaf blower because I gotta take care of the bees, I gotta make a living, and, they harvest the honey or whatever. But, so they made an exception and said, if somebody has bees, they can have a leaf blower. So it's that kind of stuff where the preachers and the bishop get to make any kind of rules that favor them, but when it's somebody else, not so much, not so fast. Get back here. What is healthcare like? Medication, surgery, are there nurses? So they will not go to the hospital much, only if it's super urgent. But they do go to the hospital. My twin brother had tetanus, where he had to go to the hospital. He was in a coma for a long time. It was kind of scary because it was hard to fight it, and they struggled to fight it and get it turned around to get him better. But he did go to the hospital because he started having spasms. He couldn't breathe at home. I remember him at home on the bed. His face would get all blue where he couldn't breathe. And then we took him to the hospital. I told my dad, if nobody else goes to call for help, I'm going to run to the neighbor and call for help. Because it was kind of like, well, we should wait another night before we take him somewhere in case, maybe something will start getting better. And this has been going on for like 3 days already where it wasn't good. But they said, well, maybe it'll get better. But it didn't get better. It got worse. And took him to the hospital, and he was there for a long time. So they will go to the hospital when it's super serious, when it's really serious. Is there any Amish thugs that steal or anything? Yes, there's Amish thugs. There's plenty of Amish thugs that do that kind of stuff. When we were little kids going to church, it was always me, my twin brother, and a couple other kids. We were kind of on one gang, and this other gang, which was much bigger than we were, was always against us. So it was always this fighting going on where we did not like to go to church because they would throw gravel stones at us and different kind of stuff and wrestle us, fight us. And we were outnumbered by them. We simply just had, a smaller group of people than they had. And so we dreaded going to church. And their parents a lot of times let them wear shoes. And my parents didn't want us to wear shoes when it was nice and warm out. Because why do you have to wear shoes? It's nice and warm out. But they could kick a lot harder with shoes than we could barefooted. Can Amish use microwaves? Absolutely not. That is a big no-no. They do not use microwaves. How is your twin brother and his family doing? They're doing great. So my twin brother is married. They have one daughter. It's about 8 months old, and she's like a doll. She's super, super cute. So I've been asked a lot on here what I do for fun. So What I do for fun is a little bit of anything. I like to do different stuff. I like adventures, so I always like heights. Even when I was still home, the silo, the hay mall, all that kind of stuff. So early tomorrow morning, I'll be jumping on a plane and going down to Arizona, where I'll be jumping off a bridge in the canyon. Now, don't worry, I won't jump off without a rope. It's a bungee jump. So it's in the canyon in the northern part of Arizona. So I'll tie a rope to me, like it's like a big bungee rope, and then it's deep down into the canyon. So I'm gonna jump, and hopefully the rope doesn't break. So if the rope breaks, I won't be back. But I'm pretty sure the rope will not break. I know the rope won't break. So it's northern Arizona. It's pretty much straight north of Flagstaff, Arizona. So I'll fly into Phoenix, and then it's probably a 3 hour drive up there almost. But that should be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. You should do a video of your jump. I'll see what the rules are around there. It's a little sketchy. They don't really want too much attention to it. Because maybe I shouldn't even be talking about it here, because they have issues with local people reporting it, and then they have OSHA come out, and OSHA claims it's not safe, but they do it all the time. They do it up in Washington and Oregon as well on some of the high bridges. And we were gonna go up there. I had decide to go, so they had to cancel it because they only had 2 people to do it. So, but I am gonna hop off here. I gotta go to bed so I can get up. I'm flying out super early. So how do you say your last name? My last name is Swartzentruber. Swartzentruber, that's how you say my last name. So, all right. Well, thank you, everybody, for hopping on. A lot of people on here. So, thanks for hopping on, and I will see you later on here. Maybe after the jump. I'll try and get a video of the jump if I can. I don't know if it's going to be possible or not, but I promise I'll try. With that, I hope you all have a good night, and God bless.